About the Def Leppard,
Yeah.
Poison,
Motley Crue, Joan Jett.
I think that one would be more reasonable.
Well, and
Priced.
Priced, yes. But, the bands, Tom Kiefer doesn't play his stuff like Cinderella does. You know that. We were both there.
Yeah.
Skid Row doesn't have Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Rat doesn't have Warren DeMartini.
Yeah.
But Slaughter still kills it.
Yeah. Slaughter still got the main guys.
Yeah. George Lynch on Judas Priest. I wish they would call me up and hire me.
Take Andy Sneap's spot?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, dude. I don't think you'd fit.
I don't think you fit.
You can't. No.
Can't noodle. Not in Priest, no.
They'd be like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What is that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work.
That'd be fun for a night, maybe. Yeah. But, I don't think that...
Have you heard any of the Doc and Lynch tour? Any of the... have you heard any of the audio from that?
No, I didn't listen to
Me either. Black Label Society to record new album this spring. Now that Ozzy's not touring, Zach's got time.
Might as well.
Sammy Hagar is planning a Las Vegas residency. That I would go to Vegas for.
That would be a good show.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Vivian Campbell says Def Leppard is planning initial writing session for their next album. That's kind of
cool.
Acclaimed producer Keith Olsen, who has worked with Ozzy, Whitesnake, and the Scorpions, has now died. I didn't know anything about that. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Appeals court sides with Led Zeppelin in their Stairway to Heaven copyright case. Are they ever going to end that?
They just did.
All right.
That was the
Is
appeals.
that as high it could go?
That was the one, I think. I don't think they can do anymore.
Get off it.
But, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That was a stupid thing to do to begin with.
Here is something that is going to cost Gene Simmons a lot of money and make him unhappy. Kiss has canceled all their meet and greets with fans over the coronavirus concern.
Yeah, so they might be canceling their tour right for now too.
Yeah, that's $2,000 per head.
Yeah, I know that was a big hit to the wallet right there.
Exactly.
For them,
above and beyond ticket sales. Yeah.
Because that's like free money there, too.
Yep, exactly. And it all goes straight to them. Doesn't go through the promoters, nothing, Metallica's Kirk Hammett loses to Mrs. Smith in live guitar crybaby battle wah-wah.
Battle of the wah-wahs.
Yeah?
Yeah, of the unnecessarily used wah-wah. Unnecessarily.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
They're just trying to do like the Shaft wah-wah.
Yeah.
And they got a backing band, and they're both just playing their wah-wahing like crazy. Because Kirk Hammett, all his solos are done with a wah-wah.
I like Kirk Hammett.
I do too. Yeah. But he just too much wah-wah.
Yeah.
But he got beat. Yeah, he lost.
There you go. Kind of like when Satchel gets beat by a lot of those kids that come up on stage.
That's why you don't do it.
No. Wendy Dio says it's her job in life right now to keep Ronnie James Dio's music and legacy alive. I think, isn't Craig Goldie's taking a big part in that, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we would be.
Yeah, because he's like bringing up some of the songs they wrote together.
Yeah.
Joe Lynn Turner says Richie Blackmore is cheating the public with current version of Rainbow. Yeah, what did you expect?
Yeah. He's got people who play for free.
Yeah.
Play for free.
Yeah.
Instead of having to pay you guys.
Yeah, paying the real band.
All the big bucks. He needs the money. It's a money grab, you know? And the money grab, you got to go with the young, hungry kids who'll work for free.
Isn't that right, David Lee Roth?
Yep.
All right. Dokken rejoined by George Lynch at Biloxi concert. You see how they doing that? John Levin introduces him, brings him out.
Oh, yeah?
And they do like 3 or 4 songs at the end of the night.
Does John play too?
No. It's just...
get hands up?
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of cool. I mean, John's a classy dude. John doesn't have anything to worry about.
No. And
he's a hell of a guitarist on his own. He doesn't have anything to worry about.
And from word on the street, he's a pretty good lawyer, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's...
I heard about that.
Not holding, hurting for cash.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson once again calls out Rob Halford for using a teleprompter. Please, Bruce Dickinson, quit being holier than thou.
Yeah, let's just not worry about that and just be happy he's out there doing it still.
Let's get a Priest Maiden tour.
Yeah.
That would be
a good
awesome.
show.
All right, next hour, we're going to talk to Jon-Schaffer from the band Demons and Wizards. You might know him from Iced Earth. We'll talk to him next hour on Rock and Metal Revival. There's brand new music from Demons and Wizards. It's called Wolves in Winter on Rock and Metal Revival. And, dude, I'm just digging this album.
Oh, I love this album. I've been listening to it for the last couple weeks, and just, wow.
Yeah, it is. Nice. We've been listening to it since its release, and we want to welcome Jon-Schaffer to the show. John, welcome to Rock and Metal Revival.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, John, we've been fans of all the releases of Demons and Wizards, and I guess my first question for you is what got you back into the studio to record the new Demons and Wizards after 15 years?
Well, we never intended it to be that long. It's just that Iced Earth and Blind Guardian are very successful bands on a global level, and that was the biggest challenge for Hansi and I early in our careers. We were releasing albums around the same time, and we weren't touring the world. We were doing Europe, and those guys would do a couple shows in Japan, but that's it. And then an album cycle was over. But then it grew. It grew into North America. It grew into Asia. It grew into Eastern Europe and Central America and South America and Australia and New Zealand, and it just went global. And so the demand and the touring became longer. And at some point, our album cycles, instead of being to where, okay, there's a new Iced Earth and Blind Guardian coming out within 2 to 4 months from each other, now it's like we're completely opposite. A new Blind Guardian comes out, and I'm in the middle of a world tour with Iced Earth. And that becomes very hard to align your schedules without interrupting the flow of your main bands. That's the reason that it took 15 years. We just had just the stars aligned.
Yeah,
we knew that they were going to. We started planning this around the Incorruptible writing sessions for me.
Wow.
And that was, we knew that we knew we could make it happen because of where Hansi was at, and I knew how much touring that I was going to schedule out for the Iced Earth Incorruptible campaign. And actually 3.5 of the songs on this album, which is A New Dawn, Invincible, Universal Truth, and Midas Disease, were written during the Iced Earth Incorruptible cycle. And I sent 3 of those songs to Hansi when I knew. I was like, okay, we're not going to use these for Iced Earth, but I'm going to send them to Hansi. And he started working on them immediately. And I told him, well, we're going to get back to this. I got to go out and do, like 100 shows on the Incorruptible cycle. So that's what we did. And we had a very strategic plan, and it was because of where they were at in their cycle and that he was focused on the orchestral album that we were able to make all this happen. So that's the only reason that it took all these years to do. We've been, Hansi and I've been like super good friends for 30 years, man. And we visit each other whenever there's any opportunity, but we just, we have been talking about doing this record for 10 years, trying to get our schedules together, and we just couldn't make it happen.
Man. So I was going to ask about the writing process, but I guess you kind of answered it. Do you just send files back and forth, or did you guys spend any time actually getting together and working stuff out?
Yeah, it was all done. Okay, so those albums, or those 3 songs, I sent to him right as I was wrapping up the writing for Incorruptible, and then we had to focus on master tracking and touring, as I said. Then after that album cycle was finished for me, I went out I was really getting close to serious burnout. So I said, guys, I'm off. That's it. I told management and Hansi too. I said, he was actually the only person that I was in communication with when I was out I went on a month-long hike out in the desert mountains in Arizona, and just by myself. I was with my guys in the band because we knew we were going on a hiatus for a while, and we spent a week together, and then I went for the remaining 3 weeks really on my own, camping and just being out in nature, and got totally recharged. And about 4 days after I flew back from there, I took off and went to Germany, and Hansi and I had our meetings and everything and put the whole plan together. Then he and I, started. I started here and at my studio, and I started sending him stuff, and by March of 2000, by March 15th, by my birthday of 2019, the album was written and recorded. The music the master tracking was done. Nice. So that was all done independently. He flew over in February for like 3 or 4 days just for us to discuss final arrangements, and how, because I was getting very close to like being ready to start master tracking. So I needed to know how many times are we going to repeat this verse? What are you feeling lyrically on some of these things and that kind of stuff. So it was just a matter of a few days of in person, but not really writing together, just making final arrangement decisions.
Well, John, I'm just listening through this album over and over. It's so diverse. I mean, it moves in all kinds of different directions, from really heavy and dark to progressive. Did you have an idea how you wanted to, the whole album to come out? I mean, because like I said, it goes in so many different ways in this album, which is really cool. Yeah, but was that your original plan?
No, it really wasn't. There was a certain vibe. If you listen to A New Dawn, Universal Truth, and the song Invincible, which was actually called Incorruptible, those three songs definitely have a vibe. So you can tell that I was in a specific headspace. If you were just to take those three, they fit together in a way that is very different from the rest of three. But so my only plan for this was, and I talked to Hansi about it, I said, I really want us to embrace we both love classic rock, and we always have. Since we were young men touring together, we talked about it. And I said, I wanted us to embrace that. I want to write a big, epic, classic rock kind of vibe song. And we ended up with two. We got Children of Cain and Timeless Spirit. Timeless Spirit is totally a direct relation to my hike in Arizona. It's absolutely, that song wouldn't exist if that didn't happen. Okay. So that's a total correlation. But that's the only decision that was made. Now, the other thing that adds to the dynamic that people might not recognize is there's 4 tunings on this album, and that lends itself a lot to the dynamic feel. Whether people recognize that or not, you probably wouldn't unless you're picking up a guitar to try to figure it out. But there's a song in C sharp, there's 2 baritone songs, there's one in 440 in standard tuning, and then there's the typical E flat stuff that Hansi and I have been. It's on most of our records and most of the Iced Earth stuff too, and Blind Guardian as well. So it's got that adds to the dynamic flow, but it was just really, dude, it was all about channeling the energy. That's it. It just was, after that hike, I was so inspired and recharged and excited, and Hansi and I always inspire each other. And, it just turned out to be a really great record. I think people were digging it. I know we do. We're happy with it, and that's really what matters the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I got a chance to watch a couple of your videos, of the new videos, one for Wolves in Winter and
Diabolic.
Yeah, those are really cool. And I got to commend you, dude. I love that Les Paul you got with the quilted maple, the red. Oh, it's freaking beautiful.
Thanks, man. I had that guitar. I bought that in 2006 or 7, and it literally was in the case for 10 years, 11 years. I took it out on the U.S. tour. First time it's ever been on the road was on the Incorruptible North American leg. Oh. I took it out on that tour, and now I love it, so I'm using it all the time.
Yeah, I saw it in at Wacken when you were playing the last song, Fiddler on the Green, and it was like when the lights hit that thing just right, it's just like, wow. Just beautiful wood grain. Wow. Now, great sounding guitar, too.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the guitar I used. Well, I used a lot of different stuff on this record, but mostly it's that, and then I have another Les Paul that I call Smokin' Joe that will never go on tour. It's strictly a studio guitar because it's too special to go out and get jacked up on the road. So that's really my secret weapon with recording, and then so I layered between the Quilt Top and Smokin' Joe. Like when you hear Wolves in Winter, that's 8 rhythm guitars playing.
Holy cow.
4 of the Quilt and 4 of the Smokin' Joe, which is also a badass. It's got a killer top too, but it's a tobacco burst.
Yeah.
Sounds unreal.
Yeah.
John, I know you guys did a little, you did some summer and fall touring with Demons and Wizards. Is there going to be any more touring, or is it now back to the Iced Earth stage of things?
It's no more touring for this and I'll tell you, man, I know people are going to be bummed about that. I'm not saying no more. It's not going to happen anytime in the immediate future because we both, we spent basically a little over a year on Demons and Wizards, and that's a lot to take away from our main. I mean, Hansi was still maintaining stuff, and because they did have the orchestra album, and in that whole period, Andre's been writing a record, so he's pretty much done composing an album, and Hansi's already in pre-production on new Blind Guardian stuff. Since I'm the chief songwriter in Iced Earth, I'm I'm not, I've been consumed with the Demons thing, so I'm like, I got to take a break first, and then I'll start writing again in like the middle of the year. But after I'm producing another band called Witherfall, starting at the end of this month, and we're going to wrap up in the middle of May. And from that point, I'm going to take a couple months